don't we? Stung by the national headlines of this past week. It's a difficult time, week after week. It's disheartening. It's an anxious time. And it's almost too much to take in. It is too much to take in. It's overwhelming. It's hard to try to understand the complexity of events and issues and try to unravel them. You feel powerless to influence what's happening on the one hand that's so big and beyond you, and yet at the same time feels like it's all around you. Who do you run to in the tumult? In the overwhelming need of this world, in your own need, who do you run to? Who do you recognize? I'm afraid for the choices that are offered up these days to answer that question. Again, we saw that terrorists prey on the weak-minded. They prey on young adults with their recruitment activities and tactics. And we saw again this week hate groups that offer simple and deadly solutions to problems with blame and fear. What are other offerings? Entertainment. I showed some entertainments. We got Kenny Chesney here at Target Field, and I'm not saying anything about the artist himself, okay? I just happen to know 3 people that are working there this weekend, and I gotta tell you, it's not fun. Because some go, and I think they might be not so proud of themselves the day after. There's a lot of excessive drinking going on there. And that's not entertainment. But it's offered up. Get away from reality or the problems for a little while. Who are they recognizing? Who are they looking for to help? Help somehow. There is so much confusion. Even our churches are deserted. The only ones filled up are the ones that mimic that entertainment. Instead of showing Jesus to people so they can recognize where the shepherd is and the true help comes, and the only one who can heal and forgive and deliver. But he does more. Something else weird I found in this passage. I always look for the weird thing. Before he healed or fed or anything, it starts out, Jesus got out there and he taught them many things. That's so important. The first thing he does, he teaches the people, the crowds, and his own disciples many things. What's he teaching them? He's teaching them, he's empowering them, he's equipping them for his kingdom. Not just gathering them into it, but teaching them how to extend it. I know that some of our youth who went to Detroit were not sure if Jesus is the one to run to, and had trouble recognizing him. Where was he? But I tell you, they heard the gospel proclaimed there, and they're coming back, sure. It's awesome. They return able to recognize him. What a gospel for our hearts today. After this week, to be able to look at the compassion of our Lord that was boundless in the face of that sea of humanity. And not only was there enough, not only did the shepherd care for them and feed and nourish them and teach them many things, there was more left over, more than enough. And he turned that crowd into his kingdom, from aliens and strangers to family. And he made a place for the ones who were lost and left out. A new kingdom. People of God at Maple Grove Lutheran, Jesus has many things to teach us. And craziest thing of all, here's a gospel for when we can't find rest. It's so awesome, like a week after week, that we've been enduring and seeing so much pain. The unexpected answer comes. You feed them. You carry the bread of life to them. I will teach you. And I'll be with you. And the fire in our hearts is the compassion of our Lord. We see it in this story. Yes, rest is important. But you know, I already preached 6 weeks one summer. Do you remember that? On Sabbath rest. Because that's a plague against our society too. We need rest. This time we needed something else to hear. We need to see Jesus in the midst of the tumult this time. But you know, I woke up this morning like many mornings, turned on my computer and clicked my bookmark, Duluth Harbor Cam, so I can watch the sunrise and the ore boats going through the bridge and that. And I just caught sunrise this morning. It was early. And I wasn't watching it by myself. There was a photographer out on the lighthouse pier. There was a man with a dog. I thought, oh, that photographer, he's up to catch that play of light against the darkness. The light entering that darkness, playing against the waves in that ship moored out there, and against the clouds, turning them orange and gold. And I felt peace. It reminded me of Jesus, that light, and how he even calls us into that sea of humanity to be light that plays with darkness in his world, in his kingdom coming. What a gospel for this week and this time. I want to finish by sharing something about, sharing a bit of what Marion Wright Edelman shared with our youth and everybody there last night at the gathering at Ford Field. But first I want to tell you about her, just a little bit of a lot more. She was the first African-American woman admitted to the Mississippi Bar. She began practicing law with the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, working on racial justice issues. She was part of the civil rights movement, helped establish Head Start program, was there for the Mississippi Freedom Summer in 1964. And in 1973, she founded the Children's Defense Fund as a voice for poor children, children of color, and children with disabilities, okay? Here's what blew me away. She started by talking about the place she was born, a little town in South Carolina. And she told that crowd that when she was born and growing up, the world gave her this message: you're not worth anything. You won't become anything. You're not valued in this world. A black woman. It just blows me away. What changed? Well, her church told her different, she said. Her dad was the preacher. He told her different. Her teachers told her different. Wow. And our youth heard that. So they won't believe the lies, but instead know that they are powerful. They're created by God. They're children of God. And so is everyone else. What a message. For them and for us too. Jesus taught them many things. And crazy as it seems, in a time of tumult when there was no rest to be had, he led them right into the crowd to give them something to eat. The bread of life, so they could recognize and know where to run to forever after. Forever after. I'm excited. I just get chills thinking about the proclamation of the gospel in Detroit. But it's here too. And flat Jesus is with us. Take him with you, people of God, wherever you go. And the fire in our hearts will be our Lord's compassion. Amen.